So we have two really quick things to talk about before the end of the show. One of them is Lyme. We're finally going to talk about Lyme in just a minute. But I totally forgot during our whole political debate. Well, it wasn't even a debate, our political chat. I forgot that one of our listeners, Sim, S-Y-M, submitted a really cool question that I thought we could all answer or attempt to answer. How do you think they do elections in Panem, if they even have them? Is it like a bloodline thing, or do they have an election every few years, or when the previous president dies? Rebekah, why don't you share your thoughts on this question first?
So the question is that, sorry, I was on power. But he's been in power for 75 years, right?
Yeah.
You know, no, there is no election. Or if there is an election, it's completely and utterly rigged.
How long has he been in power? Did we get an exact number?
He's been in power for 75 years. He's just had a lot of plastic surgery.
I just pulled up the Hunger Games wiki, and it says he has been in office for at least 5 years, and he is 76 years old. Where do they get his exact age from? I think that's crap. That's probably how old Donald Sutherland is. So he's been in president for. God, why do I keep saying he's been in president? God, I'm losing. He has been president for decades. Decades. So I do not think that there's any kind of regular.
I know that in other dictatorships or contemporary dictatorships that we're all hopefully, witnessing, like Syria, for example, I believe that they held elections, but they're fake elections. Like, whatever, that guy's going to win no matter what.
There was talk. In the book, they talked about him killing his competitors with poison.
Yeah.
Nick talked about it.
Oh, that's
sorry,
right.
Major spoiler if somebody hasn't read the book today. I'm sorry.
He just assassinates the competition. If anyone says, hey, I want to be president.
So I think there might be elections every so often, which is why he's nervous about that. But I don't think he ever actually has any competition. And they definitely don't have a maximum number of terms like America does.
Well, I think that there's, but I think that there's an election. It's an election held in the capital, and the districts have no say. So
right.
Yeah, it's just amongst the capital, and if he keeps the people in the capital happy, then he's a shoo-in to stay in anyway, but he's going to get nervous that somebody's going to step in and, air his laundry and all that. But, I mean, we know later on, obviously, they didn't hold an election for Coin. She was just appointed. And then, when she's gone, then they actually did hold an election. So it's like, well, I don't know if she was appointed or just stepped up and said, hi, I'm your president. I mean, it could have been a bit of both, but like, hello, hi, I'm here. You remember me? I helped free you, or pretend that anyway.
So, do you guys think that the district mayors are elected by the districts, or do you think that they are chosen or appointed by the capital?
I don't know.
We don't know what the only mayor that we really know anything about is the one from District 12. We don't know what he did before he was mayor, and he's always been mayor. he was
ever
born.
since he was born.
Maybe it is like a bloodline for mayor. Like oh my God, it's so convoluted.
Well, it's interesting though, because he, at the end, of spoilers, they say basically that the mayor doesn't mayor doesn't hold really any more weight than anyone else in the district when it comes to, the situation that happened. They didn't pull him out and try to save it. They didn't pull him out and say, hey, why don't you come to the Capitol for a little while or whatever. They seem to bear the same fate as the people in their district, and at least in certain regards.
He just chose to go down with the ship, which I doubt. So. Well, my thing is that I feel like if there was an election, you'd think that, like in District 12, where the vast majority of people are coal miners, you think it would be somebody that was raised as a coal miner that would be elected, rather than somebody that was born with money, with as much money as you can in District 12.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. I just tend to think... Oh, go ahead, Savanna.
No, you. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I just tend to feel like the Capitol would be rigging and running everything to a T. Mm-hmm. Which is why I just don't trust that there'd be any sort of electing or anything unless it was a complete charade taking place to pretend like the citizens had some say or vote in something despite having absolutely no say in anything. Like, that's the feeling I get. And any way that it could be manipulated through propaganda is what I think they would do.
Give them hope that their vote will count.
Right, exactly. And their votes probably get lost on the train somewhere if they're collecting votes. Something like that. Anyway, Savanna, did you have a thought on this you were trying to say?
No. I mean, I was going to just say pretty much exactly what you just said. For some reason, I've always been really fascinated by the mayors. Like, that's one thing that I really would love more information on. I want to know more about the mayors just because, I mean, we really don't get a lot. Obviously we learn about Mayor Undersea, but very little. So I for some reason, I've just always been kind of fascinated by the whole mayor thing just because we don't really hear about any other political figures or quote unquote elected officials other than President Snow and the mayors. So I'm kind of interested in their political system as a whole. I sort of wish that Suzanne Collins would do a J.K. Rowling and start releasing more details in interviews.